Hey, loungers. I hope everybody is doing as great as I am this evening, guys. Listen, guys, we have got to get into these diabolical ass medical records that Carrie Ann decided to show to everybody last night, okay? I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I was taken aback, okay, when I did receive this little kite, okay, because y'all know, as I've been telling y'all, I barely watch Carrie Ann, right? It's kind of difficult to watch her and to listen to her and to kind of get a feel of the things that she says because she just doesn't make a lot of sense, right? And I think a lot of people just kind of know that. So, for me, I just wanted to and I wanted to show y'all her pretty little picture, make sure everybody can see her. We're going to put her on display here. But either way, I really wanted to look at this because I thought this shit was just fucking nuts, okay? And the part of the video that I thought was the funniest was how Carrie Ann kept trying to say that T. Pre, have been lying to you guys about her medical history, okay? That I am out here projecting my life onto her. How these weirdos kind of say that stuff, that you're projecting and all this stuff, when really it's them that's doing this, okay? And we're going to actually prove today that it is Carrie Ann actually projecting her dirty pussy onto every other woman in the sector. Any woman that doesn't agree with her, any woman that doesn't like her, any woman that, tells her about herself, and that kind of thing. She just kind of projects her bullshit onto us, okay? And expects us to kind of, fall in line with that. But is that really the case? No, I don't think it is. I think Carrie has some really serious mental health conditions that she has not done anything to address. And, it's pretty sad. And it's unfortunate that she keeps, kind of showing herself and sharing her personal information with strangers and with people who don't give a fuck about her, people who don't like her, people who don't know her, and people who honestly don't care. So we're going to get into this today. Make sure you guys do hit the like button on the way in. I am going to do my salutations and greetings in just a moment, but let's go ahead and play a quick timer for you guys. I know you guys love my timers, so we're going to get right into this right now. I want to first start off the show with a tribute to Money to Burn. For those of you that don't know, Money to Burn is a member of our dysfunctional family here on YouTube, and I miss her dearly. I haven't talked to her in a while, but the last time I talked to her, she was in great spirits. And I did talk to her on Instagram. I checked on her, made sure that she was okay. At the time, she was. And I had left that alone. And oftentimes I do that, and I think that's a flaw of mine that I want to get better with. Is, kind of stepping back and letting people deal with their own issue or deal with situations and feeling like if they need me or if they need something from me, that they will reach out to me. I want to do a little bit better with that because this kind of situation kind of reminds us of the times where time is short, right? And that, a life is short. and that, we may not be promised tomorrow. Okay. So if you can reach out to someone today, maybe you should, instead of waiting until tomorrow, because you may not have until tomorrow. So I just want to say rest in peace to Money to Burn. And I do want to do a moment of silence for her. So if everyone can stop typing in the chat and just do a quick moment of silence, we're going to do that right now. We're going to do about a minute. May the Father bring peace to her soul and her spirit and to her family. Rest in peace, sis. You will be missed. Let's play a little timer for that one because that kind of moved me. Um, and I don't want to be emotional during this, and I don't really want to discuss that publicly. Um, but I appreciate all of you, and all of you who did love her, and all of you who have been discussing this, in different places. Definitely appreciate all of you. I know that money is watching down over all of us, and everybody stay strong, and just know that we all one day will face that, right? And maybe we need to watch the things that we say and the things that we do, right? And to do things a little bit better than we did it before, and to just try to strive to be better than we were yesterday. That's the best that we can do, right? But shout out to all of you who have taken this very seriously and have taken this to heart. And may the Lord bring peace to you as well. Let's go ahead and do a quick timer just to lift everybody's spirits up real quick. And then we're going to get right into this. That nigga said, the book is talking about now, well, I've wasted all my tears. Yeah, good that thing. Wasted all those years. Well, if you need a soundboard. Nothing had the chance to be. I know that shit. Nothing ever could. Yeah. Hey, come on now. I dropped this motherfucker. What is that? I'll keep moving on. What? I'll keep moving on. I'll keep holding on. Holding on. Makes you in a die. Yeah, that is always going to be the most hilarious timer that I'll ever have, guys. But shout out to P. Definitely appreciate you, P. You my dog. But we out here, I just wanted to get everybody laughing a little bit with that. That's something Money to Burn would have wanted us to do is laugh and smile. That's what she always did, even through her pain, even through the things that she went through, so that's something that she would have wanted us to do. Okay. And so shout out to her, shout out to P, shout out to the sector. Let's go ahead and get into this hot shit, child. Okay. Listen, y'all, I appreciate y'all, and I'm telling y'all, I did plan on being in here this morning with this video. So what's up, Skunk? And beautiful Bernice, I know you're still in here right now. But I did plan on doing this morning, okay? But time got away from me this morning. I really didn't have the time. And so now we are going to get into it, child, okay? And then, we're going to be done with this today because there's a lot of other stuff going on these YouTube streets, such as over there in the beef sector. We got stuff going on with Remix. We got stuff with Brianna. We got Shakim in the mix. We got all kinds of stuff going on over there that is a lot more interesting than this, okay? But, child, we are definitely going to talk about these medical records tonight because, like I said, baby, you out here telling people that T Pre is lying on you, right? And that I am out here making up the fact that you need to see a medical doctor for STDs every couple months, okay? That you're getting tested for STDs every couple months. Now, I did say that based off of a video that Carrie did several months ago to show us her medical history, okay? She did this back in August, so this was roughly around about 5 months ago, almost 6 months ago now or so, that Carrie had originally showed the sector her medical records, okay? And so many of us, including all of us handmaidens, shout out to all my handmaiden sisters. Let me go ahead and see my swords in the chat, okay? All of us kind of went out here and started looking at this, and we started analyzing this, and all of us pretty much came to the same conclusion that Carrie has a dirty ass pussy, okay? She's been running around here telling everybody that she's celibate, that she's not sleeping with anybody, she's not fucking aliens, dogs, cats, animals of any kind or anything, right? No men, no women, no nothing, right? But yet she is the one running around taking trichomonas tests, taking chlamydia tests, gonorrhea tests, and all this crazy stuff. And so Carrie came up with all these ideas for why she's doing that, right? And so, we started debunking that shit, just going around having conversations about it. But the only person that she wants to call out about this is me, okay? Telling me that I'm lying on her and that I'm projecting my life onto her, okay? Even though I don't know what the fuck she's talking about, but we're going to go ahead and see today whether or not I'm actually lying on her, right? And it's funny because I know she knows too that I'm not lying on her. Because what I was going to do, guys, for you guys, and for you, Carrie, pull up a seat, sweetheart. What I was going to do for you today is show you why you can only get a couple of likes on that video that you did, right? You could only get a troll or two and yourself to put a like on that video that you did last night because what you were saying was so stupid and what you did made yourself look so retarded, okay, that nobody could co-sign that. You couldn't get a comment on that video. You couldn't get anybody to drop down or nothing because what you did was so diabolical. It was worse than the video that Raw released with all the medical history that 13,000 people watched, right? It was worse than that one. Did y'all know that this medical history has gotten worse since then? We're going to talk about it today. Shout out to Carrie and the VA for showing us this shit. But before we get into that, let me go ahead and speak to all my loungers because yes, I did plan on doing this morning, but I just couldn't get into it, guys. I had to do some other things this morning before I started work. Now that I'm done with work and done with everything, we can sit back and bust it up for a little while. What's up, Mind Chaos Brew? Definitely appreciate you being in the building. Me and my sis, I appreciate you being in the building as well. Miss YouTube Unfolded, definitely appreciate you being in the building. The beautiful Bernice, appreciate you. Everybody's kind of speaking to each other. Josephine, ew, child, with a teaspoon of hair. Okay, let me go ahead and put that picture back up. Let me put that picture back up, child, because, child, she got this whole teaspoon of hair and shit. Yes, we are not arguing with bitches in 2026 with a teaspoon full of hair. Okay, we're not doing that. Shout out to Joe. That is definitely her thing that she created, and I just stole it. Okay, that is definitely from Joe, though. But yes, child, we are not arguing with bitches with a teaspoon of hair. We're not doing that this year. What's up, Ray Triggs? Appreciate you being in the building. Okay, so everybody's just kind of speaking to each other. Queen Divine, definitely appreciate you, sis, for being in the building. What's up, Remix? Appreciate you for being in the building. Slander God, definitely appreciate you as well. LV, appreciate you for being in the building as well. Yes, rest in peace to Money to Burn. Rest in peace, Charlotte. Definitely appreciate you guys for giving her that shout out. Yes, my sisters is here. Ciao. Okay, make a change. Definitely appreciate you. YM, I appreciate you being in the building. Shout out to you. Y'all need to go over and subscribe to YM's channel. If one of the mods can put her link in the channel, guys, she don't get enough credit, okay, for the stuff that she talks about and the things that she says. As a matter of fact, now that you're here, I'm actually gonna stop and do a viewer's comments just for your commentary because I want to talk about something that was on your community wall, and I found that very interesting. So let me pull that up real quick and let me do a banner for that. That way we can do that real quick. And then we're going to get into the commentary. Don't worry, guys. We got a little bit of time. You said, child, wait, what? Child, listen, girl. But anyway, we're going to get into that. I would appreciate if y'all could do that for me, though, if y'all know where it is. If you don't, I'll put it in for you guys. You said, for the nostalgia, could I please get Black Lounge Entertainment? It's time for T Pre Bumper. That's the thing. I have no idea. I don't know where it is. Okay, make a change. I don't know where that timer is. I don't know if it's in an archived email or what, but I can't find it. So I do need to get in touch with Bombay so he can get a copy of that to me because that's actually his jingle. So shout out to him. But I will get a copy of that for you guys. That way we can get that popping. All right, let me get into this though. You said, "Hey, my loves, I'm at work." Okay, no problem. Everybody's just saying hi. You said I don't feel like resubscribing respectfully. You know what? You gonna subscribe, okay? You gonna subscribe to my YM, okay? Anywho, let me go ahead and get her. And then I also want to change this banner real quick because y'all know I ain't shit. And I don't give a fuck either. Okay, so anyway, but let me go ahead and change this shit up real quick. Be a little nice for just a second. Just a second. Um, and put up the viewer comments while we are looking into YM's video. I mean YM's on her community wall. Shout out to her. She always has a really great community wall post, and there's a particular post that she talked about that I thought was so great. And I actually almost forgot about it. I almost did. Um, but when I saw you in the chat, I said, you know what? Let me do a viewer comments for YM because she always got those bomb ass um, community posts. So let's talk about this. Let me put on my reading glasses, y'all. Let me put on my cam girl reading glasses, okay? Yeah, y'all. Let me do that. Shout out to Gates. All right, so this says a few thoughts, and again, make sure you guys go over there to her. If let me see if y'all have the link there. If not, let me put it there. All right, so I'll put it up there while I'm reading that. Okay, hold on one second, guys. I gotta find her, and then I gotta do it because I don't know. Maybe you guys don't see it, so I will get that for y'all. Just give me just a second, guys. Give me just a second. Because I really want you guys to go over to YM's so that you can know who she is and that she always has. All right, so I got it here. She always has a really great community wall post up somewhere, and oftentimes I use her wall posts when I'm doing a viewer comments on my show because most of the time what she's saying is just making sense. Okay, so um, all right, so let me go to this live right here. All right, and I'm going to post her link. I think. Yep. Okay. So I got the link in there for you guys. Okay. And I'm going to keep that page open too because I might put some polls up tonight. We'll see. Okay. But anyway, y'all go over and subscribe to YM's channel. That way you guys know what's going on. Hey, Lorna, I appreciate you being in the building as well. And then you guys can follow along as well. Okay. All right. So the name of the channel is Visuals. So make sure you guys go over and check her out. And 2 days ago, she put a thought in that said, a few thoughts. Kanye. So Kanye wrote a letter to black people and to Jewish people apologizing for his anti Semitic art. I don't know if it's sincere as far as his actions go. I don't even know if he wrote it, but if he did, I find the description of his experience of bipolar mania to be very thought provoking. I've said before that mental illness doesn't make an asshole do the things they do, but the way he described his experience kind of made sense. The mania amplifies what's already there, is my understanding of his description. And I think that's very true with a lot of people who experience mental health conditions and they experience bipolar mania as he has in the past, right? Where it's kind of it's not that they're just they're an asshole because they have a mental illness, right? They there's underlying issues that cause this stuff, and then also at the same time, no problem, YM, and also then at the same time, there's some things that are already exacerbating this issue, right? So they may already feel certain ways. They may already have certain senses or certain things that they're experiencing. And then once they are dealing with this bipolar mania, that it might be heightened or it might be 10 times worse just based off of that, right? There might be some delusions that's added and different things to that. But it is something that was there that created that, right? I think that's something to keep in mind, even with anybody that you deal with that experiences this, right? And so anyway, I appreciated her opinion on that, and I actually agree with that opinion. The next one she talked about was the Alex Preddy situation over there in Minnesota. She said the more the government escalates its lies and its violence against white people, I wonder if we collectively as Americans are building towards a revolutionary flashpoint. A white woman isn't enough. Now it's a legally armed white male who was killed by ICE Border Patrol. Will white people organize and fight on an even bigger scale now? Rest in peace, Alex. He seemed like a stand up guy. And he did seem like a pretty stand up guy. It seems like a lot of people are speaking very highly of him. It seems like there's a lot of government officials that are trying to speak of him as if he's some assassin or he's some kind of ridiculous person. Things that they haven't, again, been able to actually prove, right? But these are things that they've been trying to say about this guy, and just kind of throw things under the bus and pretend that these Gestapo men that are these ICE Gestapo men aren't actually acting like terrorists and acting like gang members, right? And terrorizing American citizens, Um, so there's a part of this that YM talks about that I agreed with the most, and I think we're going to get into this right now before I even say what I want to say. She said, Black people and ICE. This is related to the point above. I am in solidarity in spirit with protests against ICE. I had supported that work in my city years ago when immigrant families and workers were being messed with through their jobs and through schools. I agree, though, that with the recent wave of demonstrations, it's best for Black people to sit back and let others put themselves on the front lines. I'm sad to see the state violence. I'm sad to see the state of violence, but unfortunately, change doesn't come easily. I 100,000% agree with that statement. Okay? And I also have been a person that has fought on the front lines with issues, with social issues, with the police and things like that, where I have seen the police killing people and doing these things. I've done marches, I've done demonstrations, I've done all kinds of stuff, right? I've seen people go to prison, well, not go to prison, but get, locked up behind demonstrations. I've seen all kinds of stuff. I have seen them turn hoses against us and not necessarily turn them on, but threaten to turn them on against us. I have seen so many things, right? And I think I kind of take on the same sentiments that a lot of us take on. A lot of us have seen so many things. And we have talked about these things extensively with other demographics for decades, okay? At least in our lifetime, for decades. Other people have spoken about this for longer than us, right? Our parents, our grandparents, they have been talking about this for centuries now, right? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about how long black people have been on this land, right? And what has happened in between that time where it started off as slave catchers and then it became police, okay? Like we can get into a very deep story that goes deep into our bloodline when it comes to this, okay? So at some point, black people just got tired of fighting other people's battles, okay? Because we've been fighting other people's battles for years. We've been doing this forever. We've been in the feminist movements. We've been in the all types of movements that black people have been used to fight with, right? But when we're out here fighting our own battles, there ain't too many people out here helping us. Now I'm not saying that there weren't freedom fighters. Okay, let's not get don't all everybody jump out the window and my Mexican cousins were helping. Please don't do that. Okay, I understand, right? There were definitely freedom fighters. We definitely had Hispanic Black Panthers. We definitely had all types of things going on like that. And to this day, even in the community like that, we still have many different demographics of people that are involved in community work. Okay. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, this battle has been a battle that black people have fought on our own for a very long time. Okay. And we have learned to adapt to this kind of stuff. We have learned to fight and survive through these things. Okay. Not only through the police brutality and all these things. We have learned to fight through redlining. We have learned to fight through welfare systems. We have learned to fight through so many different things that have tried to suppress us over the years that we've almost become immune to this kind of stuff. Okay? So now that we're watching this happen to white America, I don't know how to feel about it, right? Like, it's not that I'm not upset with you. It's not that I don't have the same spirit of fight, right? Or I don't have the same spirit of protest. I'm just tired of putting myself on the front line, right? I'm tired of putting my people on the front line, and we're the first ones killed in the battle, right? And then when we're killed in the battle, there's nobody there to pick up our bodies. There's nobody there to pick up the slack behind that. Okay? That has been our reality for as long as I can remember. And so I don't know if I'm willing to get out here and fight and protest, right? Anymore. Am I willing to pray? Am I willing to protect in my own way by, keeping things quiet, not speaking up so much about, certain families that I know are in a certain area or something like that? Yes, right? Am I going to make sure that I'm not, I'm going to keep ICE away from my place and away from me? Yes, right? But I don't know if I want to get out here and do all the protesting and all the demonstrations and the laying down in the street and the going and and the yelling at the. I don't know if I want to do that anymore because I don't know if it actually made any change for us, right? And I think it is a good question from YM where it says, are we moving into that direction? Because now that it's being, now that white people are being, that they're experiencing some of the things that we have experienced all these years, are we now moving into a new direction, right? It's a good question. I think it's left open for thought. I don't know. Well, and the reason I'm so hesitant to say yes, I think so, is because we've thought that before, black people, right? We have thought that before, that people they're finally coming to help us. They're coming to support us. They're coming to protect us. They're coming to love us. They're coming to be here, right? And then as soon as we get to a certain space where, we're being attacked or we're being killed or something is happening, they might cry and they might hurt, but then when it's all said and done, they go away. And we're still left to pick up the pieces. That's the way that it's been, you know? And so I don't know if I'm willing to take the chance to get into this battle with y'all. And that's unfortunate to say that, right? But it's the truth. And I have to be honest about that. And I think there's a lot more black people feeling this way than you know. Okay? There's a lot more of us that are, it's not that we're turning a blind eye to it. We see it. We see what's going on. We're just choosing not to get emotional about it anymore because we've done that too many times in the past. And it hasn't done anything to change our situation, right? It hasn't done anything to change our circumstances. So, anyway, shout out to YM for that. She always gives some very thought provoking um, um, community posts. She also does some very thought provoking videos. So, you guys make sure that you go over there and subscribe to her. And then we'll go from there, okay? But I do appreciate you, YM, for at least sharing that with us. Let me go ahead and look at y'all comments real quick. And then we're going to get into this Carrie-Ann shit because, child, I want to get the fuck up out of here. I ain't going to hold y'all. I am not going to be up here all night long. So let's see. Hold on, guys. All right. So let me go to my studio. All right. I apologize, guys. You know how we do over here. All right. Okay. So everybody's, yep. Okay. Yeah. So y'all agree. You said, oh, same here. I've seen that stuff up close. Yeah, girl. I've seen this stuff too much, right? Where I almost feel, and I hate to say immune to it, right? But I really feel that way. We have seen so many of these situations, right? We have, I mean, from Sandra Bland, Orlando Castile, we've had Michael Brown, like you name a name, right? Over the years, I remember I used to cry over it. I used to get emotional, right? When this would happen, and I no longer, that doesn't happen anymore. I don't get emotional anymore, right? I just know what's going on. It's another day, right? It's fucked up, but this is what has happened to us. Okay, this is how we've learned to survive, right? So this is, I don't know if this is just new to white people or some white people, right? I'm not going to say all. I don't know if this is new, to them, and this is something they just haven't experienced, and this is why they're reacting like this, right? Or, even when the Hispanic folks this was happening a few months ago with Hispanic folks, where ICE was actually paying attention to them at the time. Now they're paying attention to more white people than anything, but they were trying to get all these people out of LA and all this other stuff, and all the demonstrations and protests were going on. And there were a lot of Hispanic people that were like angry that black people weren't jumping in the fight with them. And we're like, y'all told us during when George Floyd got killed, a lot of y'all said, well, all you have to do is obey the law. That's all you have to do. Forget about that you're black and that you're just walking down the street and you're not doing anything wrong. You just got to obey the law is what y'all were telling us, right? And so we kind of had to sit back and let you taste your own medicine. You see what I'm saying? And let you feel and feel that burn that you were letting us feel. You understand? And if that makes sense. And I hate to say it that way, but it's the fucking truth. Okay. And I just can't help but feel that way. So, like I said, I've been on the front lines for many years doing this fight, right? I still do this. But I don't get out here and get emotional and get all up in this stuff no more because I don't know if I should. I don't know if it's my fight anymore. And that's just how I feel. LV says, in other words, this is a non-black problem. Okay, I'm just saying, non-black. Lorna, you said ICE also tried to arrest someone in the Ecuador consular services in Minneapolis, the land that embassies and consulates are owned by the country they sit on. ICE created international incident. Don't make no damn sense, right? It really doesn't make any sense. It's just sickening what's happening right now. But, I'll say this too. If you read your Bible and you look at it deep enough, you'll see what's going on in the world right now. Because there's a lot of prophecy that's being fulfilled, and it's kind of like rapid prophecy that's happening, all at once. But either way, you said they said that about Eric Garner exactly that he was a terrorist and that he was, and all this other stuff. It was so sickening, right? And we're just tired. So, perhaps it's time for you to feel that sting that we've been feeling. And maybe now you can understand what we've been saying for all these fucking centuries. Okay? And how America was built on racism. So, that's just, and classism. Okay? So that's just what it is. And we're going to go from there. I appreciate all of y'all. Let's go ahead and get into this right now with this stuff with Carrie, because child, okay, like I could not believe what the hell this weird bitch did. I really couldn't believe it. It was shocking to me that she would allow herself to and put herself in such a situation like this. It was shocking to me that she originally did it a few months ago. But for her to turn around and do this again now, I just found that absolutely fucking nuts. Okay. So anyway, guys, let's go ahead and get right into this. Hey, JoJo, I appreciate you. You said I'm against ICE, child, all day. Okay. You said I'm against ICE too. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get into this Carrie-Ann shit. Okay. Because child, this shit was fucking nuts. Okay. Let me share my screen because I don't even want to waste no more time on this shit. All right. Y'all let me know if you can hear the video. I'm going to play it back a little bit.
And I think it's wild that somebody who parades around in cheap lines.
Can you put a one in the chat if y'all can hear the video? I just want to make sure y'all can hear it. Put a one in the chat, guys, if you can hear the video. Anybody? I'll play it again.
Lingerie keeps trying to tell me that it's a bad look for me to show my medical records. Because again, nobody can kind of tell me why.
Now, keep in mind, y'all just heard her say that. I'm going to play this one more time because I don't know if y'all heard what she said, okay? I'm going to play that one more time. Let's go back and play that again.
And I think it's wild that somebody who parades around in cheap lingerie keeps trying to tell me that it's a bad look for me to show my medical records. Because again, nobody can kind of tell me why.
Well, clearly you can tell yourself why you don't think you should be showing your medical records because you took the video down. Okay? I mean, you took the video down, okay? So obviously you don't think you should be playing your medical records either, okay? But honey, you got to be quicker than that, okay? Because I'm always going to get the motherfucking sauce, okay? So anywho, let's go ahead and play this motherfucking bullshit.
Like, what's so bad about showing my medical records if I have nothing to hide?
If you have nothing to hide, Carrie, why did you take the video down today when you realized I was going to do a video?
Because I think it's way worse to show yourself to be a cam girl. I think that's way more shameful.
Do you? Do you think, Carrie, that it is much more shameful to be a cam girl if you were out here camming for free, showing your titties and ass and pussy to a grown-ass motherfucking married man with kids, right? While you was doing that, that was perfectly fine. And you was doing that shit for free, honey. He wasn't paying you. As a matter of fact, you had to pay him. Okay? So, what's shameful? Again? I'll wait.
But see, in addition to some of the other many lies that she...
It keeps skipping, so bear with me.
Said, and I think they said they were going to show a timeline, right? Even though she was contradicting herself while on the panel.
No, ma'am, I didn't contradict anything, and neither did Raw, neither did Divine, okay? Neither did Haterozzi Radio, shout out to him. Honey, listen, okay? The timeline is on a video that Divine 7 did 4 months ago, maybe 5 months ago now, okay? And everybody sent the links to Haterozzi, who's now going to be going in on your ass, okay? That is what the timeline was about. if you want to see the timeline, because the rest of the sector has already seen it, including all the trolls that be in your chat cheering you on. They've also seen it, okay? So everyone else has seen it except you, or allegedly except you, okay? You acting like you haven't seen it, okay? So you are welcome to go over there. The video is still public. It's called Access Denied, okay? You're welcome to go over there and look at it. I started to play it for you again today, but no, we have already watched it, okay? Extensively in the sector. We have gone over this multiple times in the sector. So if you're not aware, it is your fault that you're not aware, okay? You need to take your lazy ass over there and go listen to the actual video. If you want to, I guess, pull up the scripts, okay, that's fine too. You're still going to see the timeline of what really actually happened between me and between you, okay? It's all there for you to see. Now, we'll go ahead and keep going.
Um, uh, but I still want to see this timeline where proves. She said that I showed my medical records where. What's up, B? um, she said I showed my medical records where it shows I had to get tested for STDs every couple of months.
Now, do y'all remember looking at this girl's medical records a few months ago on Raw? Shout out to Raw B. We had to go over there where 13,000 people also, along with us, saw your medical records, right? And saw that every couple months you did have to go get your motherfucking pussy checked, okay? We're going to prove it again today, okay? And it's funny because guess what? You added a date after August of 2025. Let's go ahead and look at it, y'all. This bitch be lying so motherfucking much. She don't even know when she telling lies and shit. And you know what, y'all? There's so much hidden shit in these medical records. We are going to break that shit down, okay? Because again, we're going to listen to what Carrie's trying to claim about me, okay? And then we're going to listen to what she's actually saying. Let's go ahead and go. Let me move my avatar. No, I don't want it to be that small. I want you guys to be able to see. Okay. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and get into this right now.
And so I just wanted to go ahead and show this again live. And this is why I showed my shit live, because my truthfulness is being called into question by people who regularly tell lies and who I busted out in lies. And
who did you bust out in lies besides yourself? Okay, including on this video that you have now deleted. Who have you busted in any fucking lies, Carrie, except you?
Because of that, like I don't have anything to hide. So
you don't? Let's. You ain't got nothing to hide. You sure? How come you took this shit down then? Because you realize how diabolical this shit is, right? Let's go, bitch. See, you be burying yourself, fucking around, trying to fucking grandstand on me and grandstand on my motherfucking handmaidens. This is what the fuck happens, bitch. Now let's go.
Let's see, is it true what T Pre said about me needed to get tested all the time for STDs? Like,
now you gonna give me $1,000, bitch? Okay? You owe me $1,000 motherfucking dollars because you claim I lied about your medical records, right? I am lying about your medical history. Let's see if I'm lying. Let's see if I'm actually projecting onto you.
Let's just see if that's true.
Yes, let's see if it's
true. True, or is she lying? And if she's lying, let's ask ourselves, why does she keep lying and trying to paint me out to be the one in a health crisis?
Now, she said, I am trying to paint her out to be a person in a health crisis. Okay? Y'all put those words, just pin those words for a second. Because we're going to go all through this bitch's medical motherfucking history since she wants us to see it. Okay? Since she wants us to see her medical history, we're going to go ahead and show that. And while we are here, I'm going to show you guys this tab. We are going to do a tally count, okay, today of every single STD test that Carrie Ann has shown us on her medical records. Okay, so far we're at zero because we haven't gone through the records yet. But we are going to do a tally count today of how many fucking STD tests this bitch has had to take in the past 4 to 5 years. Okay? All right? All right, y'all. And we're going to see if that's normal or not. And if her pussy is as clean as she been fucking telling motherfuckers. Okay? Now let's go ahead and get into this. We're going to share this. We're going to start off with the first fucking one. Uh-huh. 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 This bitch got an HIV test and syphilis test that was done. What date? Do y'all see that? September 15th, 2025 at 2:05 p.m. No, yeah, 2:05 p.m., right? This test was done after Carrie Ann showed us her last medical records, okay? Back in August of 2025, when she showed us her medical records, this test hadn't even been done yet. So, Carrie, we already at two tests right here. We haven't even started the fucking video. And we are already at Carrie has had two STI tests already, okay? Let's go ahead and get into it just since September. All right, let's go ahead and finish.
Why does she try to paint me out to be the one who got molested? Why?
Now, I got $10,000 for you, bitch. If you can ever show anywhere where I said anybody to anybody at any given time that you've ever been molested. I have never said that about you. And I heard you say that the other day to Gates' brother. That's the reason why you're talking about what happened to me as a child, is because I've been telling everybody that you got molested. That's a fucking lie, Carrie. I have never told a single soul anything like that. You've never even told me anything like that. So where are you getting that from? Did that actually happen to you? Is that the disgusting thing that happened in your childhood that we've all read about? Oh, oh, is that what you're talking about? Because I had no idea. You had never told me anything like that, and I've never said that. But I got $10,000 for your broke, dusty ass. If you can show where I ever said that you were molested by your father, or you were molested by your grandfather, or your uncle, or anybody, or your stepfather, or anything. I have never, ever said anything like that about you. No, I said your daddy killed himself. That's what the fuck I said, and I proved it. Now I want you to prove where I've ever said that shit. Now let's keep going.
Why does she keep trying to paint me out to be the one who
It keeps skipping. Bear with me, guys.
was constantly leaning on her for support with my mental health issues?
You admitted to the sector that you called me about your mental health issues. Did she? Or put a one in the chat, y'all. If y'all heard Carrie say just the other day that she called me up when she was experiencing mania, right? She called me to see if I would make sure she took her medication in the middle of the night. She didn't know. She tried to paint it like I never told her I wanted her to take my medication. I just wanted her to tell me and to find out whether I'm having heart palpitations or something else in the middle of the night or something. I'm like, what the fuck? Either you asked me to make sure you took your meds or what? Which one is it, Carrie? Okay? But no, ma'am. No, ma'am. The burden of proof is on you because you most definitely said that. Okay? You admitted that you were asking me from fucking medical advice. Okay? You admitted that shit. So let's go ahead and keep going.
Like, why is this woman steady trying to say things about me that are true about her?
Where is show the proof? Show the proof that I have needed to have syphilis testing, HIV screenings, this TSH. We're going to look at that too. We're going to Google some things and we're going to look up these tests that you've been taking, okay? Because you keep claiming that you don't understand what these tests mean, right? TSH blood test. Let's look that up real quick. We're going to share this tab real quick. So the AI overview is a thyroid stimulating hormone blood test. Measures the amount of TSH in the blood to evaluate how well the thyroid gland is functioning. It is the primary screening tool for thyroid disorders such as hypothyroidism, underactive or hyperthyroidism, thyroidism, overactive. Typically requiring no fasting, it is a routine fast blood testing with results generally available within a few days. So again, while you're talking about everyone else's health and how terrible people's health are, you're the one showing us how your doctors are testing you for all these things, right? For thyroid issues. This is why your eyes are bulging. This is why you got that tire on your neck, right? Is because you got thyroid issues allegedly, right? According to your medical history. Carrie? Okay. Let's keep going.
I don't sleep around. Why would I need?
Are you sure you don't sleep around? Because again, you the one, after showing us your medical history back in August, had to turn back around in September, 3 weeks later, and get a HIV test and a syphilis test. Bitch! And you ain't sleeping around? Okay, let's keep going.
To be getting tested all the time. So
Girl,
this
you
my whole medical record.
you believe your lies, which is the sad part about this, right? And then once you woke up and you realize, like, damn, I was manic. Let me take this video down, okay? You realize we done already got the tea, okay? Yeah. Let's do this test that you had to do since you are so, so healthy, right? What does a comprehensive metabolic panel do? Let's look that up because you wanted us to know, right? You wanted us to know what a comprehensive metabolic panel is, right? You wanted us to know that you are so healthy, and what's going on with your mental health and with your health. Let's see what a comprehensive metabolic panel does. Okay? So, a comprehensive metabolic panel is a common 14 component blood test that evaluates overall health by measuring glucose, electrolytes, kidney function, bun creatine, liver enzymes, and proteins. It is used to monitor conditions like diabetes or liver disease, check medication side effects, and screening during routine checkups. So, Carrie, again, while you're talking about everybody else's health, right? Why are your doctors needing to give you these comprehensive metabolic panels when they do all at the same time, right? While they're providing you HIV screening and syphilis screening. Because, see, when you need to get testing done for your lithium and make sure that your lithium levels are right, make sure that your iron level is right, make sure that your lipids are right, make sure that your folate serum is right, make sure that your vitamin D and your vitamin B12 is on the right level, right? Why are they testing for HIV and for syphilis? What has that got to do with your lithium? What has that got to do with your vitamin B and vitamin D? That ain't got shit to do. Your pussy don't got shit to do with that. Okay, so is it because you're celibate or is it because you a hoe? Right? Because mind you, in August, just a month, not even a month, 3 weeks before this test, you were out here manically showing us how dirty your pussy was then, right? Just to turn around and have to come back a month later and do two more tests, two more STDs. But let's keep going. This video ain't that long either.
Now, I did get tested in September, right?
Which again, Carrie, was after you showed us your medical records in August.
Because I was seeing blue and thinking about sleeping with blue.
You just lied through your fucking teeth. I should have put a tally up on how many lies you tell in this video too, okay? But we're going to do the tally for just the STD test, okay? But either way, you just lied. You weren't seeing blue in September of 2025. Everybody knows that, Carrie. Everybody knows how manic you have been for the past few months. You ain't getting no dick. You're not going outside. You're not doing a motherfucking thing out here. You stopped seeing blue in, I want to say, January or February of last year. That's when you stopped seeing blue. Because remember what you told me that blue did? Don't you remember what you told me, Carrie, that blue did for why you stopped fucking with that nigga? Huh? I'm going to hold that too for now. Okay? I'm going to hold that for now. But I know motherfucking well you weren't seeing blue in September of 2025. Okay? Mm-mm. That was just a few months ago. That was after I stopped talking to you. Okay? That was when you went on a spiral in the sector, and you've been spiraling since then. You are not seeing blue at that time. Stop the fucking cap. Let's keep going.
I got some testing here.
Now, we are at 2 more tests. Now, keep in mind, guys, she had the original STD test that we just looked at in September 15th of 2025. Okay? September 15th of 2025. Let's look at this again. This chlamydia and gonorrhea PCR panel was done June 30th, 2025. Okay? That was how many months? 2.5 months before you had to get an HIV and a syphilis test, right? So you had to get a chlamydia test and a gonorrhea test on June 30th of 2025. Okay? And you had to get a syphilis test and an HIV test September 15th of 2025. Okay? Which, mind you, none of these diseases have anything to do with your medications. Nothing at all. None of them. Okay? Now, let's do a little bit of research since Carrie Ann wanted us to look at these tests. Okay? Because what I did was decide to look up chlamydia. Hold on. Let me spell it right, because bitch, I ain't never had this shit, so I don't know how to spell this shit. Okay, chlamydia. Okay, we gonna look this up real quick. Okay, because this bitch thinks niggas is stupid. Okay, she think niggas is slow. Okay, now I want y'all to remember. Back in August, when Carrie originally showed us her diabolical medical records back then, and how all of us ladies were on that ass about that trichomonas testing that she had done, and she kept trying to tell us that was some routine test that she had done because she wanted to sleep with some man named Blue, right? Motherfucking lies. We knew that was a lie because we know that trichomonas testing is not a routine test. Okay, as a matter of fact, let's do that real quick. Let's do is trichomonas, because I want you guys to know whether or not this is or not, okay? So let's share this screen. Trichomonas vaginalis, or trick testing, is not routinely included in standard STI screenings for the general population in the US and Europe, despite being the most common non-viral STI. It is typically only performed when patients are symptomatic, vaginal discharge, and are at high risk, or are in high prevalent settings like STD clinics, right? We all know Carrie Ann ain't worked at no STD clinic. We know that she was working at Tucker High School before she got fired, right? So now we know that the only reason why Carrie would have gotten a trichomonas test, right, is if she was symptomatic, such as having stankin' pussy, vaginal discharge, right, with odor, right, or she was at high risk, meaning she was fucking a bunch of motherfuckers. Okay? Let's go there. Since Carrie Ann is saying we're all lying about her medical history. Okay? Now, let's look up this other thing that we were about to look at, this chlamydia gonorrhea test. Okay? Because there was a lot of wording on that test. And I'm like, what do they mean by chlamydia gonorrhea PCR panel new? Right? What does that mean? Because Carrie wants us to know what this all means, right? She wants all of us to be informed of, the condition and the health of her coochie. Okay? So let's go ahead and look at it for Carrie Ann's sake. Okay? Shout out to Bugsy. New PCR or nucleic acid amplification tests panels for chlamydia trachomatis and Neisseria gonorrhea offer faster results, with some providing 30-minute high accuracy at home testing, e.g., visibly medical or rapid in clinical results. These new tests frequently include expanded simultaneous screening for Trichomonas vaginalis and Mycoplasma genitalium using simple self-collected swabs. Mm, mm, bitch. I told you to leave me alone, right? Because we're going to get all into your medical records today, okay? See, we didn't do this before. Shout out to Raw. She did. She definitely went into your shit, okay? But we didn't go deep in, right? The way you wanted us to get deep in and see what's really going on with your pussy, okay? Visby Medical Women's Sexual Health Test. FDA cleared in 2025. This device offers rapid 30-minute PCR results for CT, NG, trichomonas using a vaginal swab. Okay? So you were getting tested for sexually transmitted diseases, okay, including gonorrhea and chlamydia. And this was a full panel, the full PCR panel. And it was a new panel. So that means we need to add trichomonas to this testing as well. So far, we are only back to June of 2025, y'all. We are only in January of 2026. So far, we have counted that Carrie Ann has needed 5 STD tests since June of 2025. Bitch. And you're talking about anybody else's pussy? Let's go. Let's keep going. Child, you can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up.
About
See, she started even, oh my God, I can't believe I'm showing this. She even started stuttering like, damn, I'm really showing a little bit too much, right? Yeah, you are. Because this is not our business, Carrie. Now, put a 1 in the chat if any of y'all want to fuck Carrie Ann and y'all want to know what her pussy look like, okay? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all need to know whether Carrie Ann's pussy is clean or not, okay? Put a 2 in the chat if you just simply don't give a fuck, okay? Let me put my 2. Because I don't give a fuck if the bitch pussy clean, okay? That ain't my motherfucking pussy. I don't fuck pussy. I don't care about pussy. But for some reason, this bitch want all of us to know about her pussy, okay? So we gonna learn about this bitch pussy today, okay? All you niggas gonna learn about her pussy today, okay? Pull up a motherfucking seat. Chad T, pull up a seat. Wall B, pull up a seat. Everybody in the chat, pull up a motherfucking seat. Because we gonna look at this bitch pussy. Because she want us to see her pussy. Okay? Let's go. Let's go.
You know, I think I told y'all I had to get a lumpectomy on my breast. A lot of shit with my...
So, hold on. Let me rewind that a little bit. Because, again, you want us to be concerned with our health, right? All while you just out here doing whatever the fuck you want with your health, right? So, what is Well, I think we all know what a mammography is. Okay, that is a breast exam. Okay, so I've had a mammography. I've had a bilateral screening where I had both breasts examined. Okay, so when you get in your 40s, these are things you're supposed to do as women. So, okay, Carrie, that was done in July. But the chlamydia and the gonorrhea, that was in June. Okay, and as we see, that other one was in September. Okay,
I had to get a
you,
lumpectomy
you nasty bitch.
on my breast, a lot of shit with my breast.
Now let's see what this CBC without diff is, right? What does that mean? What? Because she want us to see her medical history. You know what I mean? So CBC without differential. I know it's some kind of blood test. It says CBC is a complete blood count without differential. Is a standard blood test that measures overall red blood cells, hemoglobin, hematocrit, platelets, and basic RBC indices, size and color, providing a broad look at blood health but omitting the detailed breakdown of the different types of white blood cells like neutrophils, lymphocytes, etc. It is useful for detecting anemia, infection, inflammation, and monitoring treatment. But a CBC with differential, is needed for specific immune system analysis. Okay? So again, your doctor is looking up your shit, okay? I don't need to go get all these tests done every couple months. This is you, bitch, okay? This is you and your motherfucking medical history, okay? That you want us to observe. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and observe it with you. All right, girl? All right. Let's go ahead and keep going. Uh oh. Uh oh. Uh oh. Uh oh. Uh oh. We got 3, 4, 5 more tests. More STD tests. I got to put 5 more STD tests on here, y'all. Oh my God. We are at 10 STD tests. We are at 10. 10. We're at 7. 7 from June 30th until now. She's had to have 2 HIV screenings, 2 syphilis tests, 2 trichomonas tests, 2 fungus tests, 2 Gardnerella tests. Well, they didn't say the Gardnerella and the fungus before, but they did say the trichomonas. Okay, so we got these 3, 4, 5 additional tests for sexually transmitted diseases in less than a year. Because it's not even February 12th yet, 2026. You had this trichomonas test, this Gardnerella vaginalis fungus and yeast in February of 2025, right? Syphilis in June of 2025, HIV in June of 2025. Then you turned around and had that other test in June of 2025. And then you turned around and had the other tests in September of 2025. The same syphilis and same HIV screening that you had to have earlier in the year. Again, none of this has anything to do with medication. And what is going on with Blue? Because are you going to blame this on Blue? Are you saying Blue's dick was that dirty? That you was fucking him, you kept fucking him after that, right? Because you had to get a trichomonas test in February. So you should have known in February that the nigga's dick was dirty, right? And then you had to get a syphilis test months later, 4 months later. You had to get a syphilis test and an HIV test, right? Which had nothing to do with your medication. And then 2 months after that, you had to go and get that test again. Both of them tests again. And you had to get the trichomonas test again, right? Along with the chlamydia and the gonorrhea test that you had to have done, right? The whole panel that you had to have done. Sick, bitch. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Like I said, y'all can see the dates. June 30th for the HIV, June 30th for the syphilis, February 12th for the trichomonas. Now keep in mind, we had already done a gonorrhea, chlamydia, trichomonas testing later on in the year, and we did another syphilis and HIV test later on in the year. So guys, we are at 10 STD tests that Carrie has had since 2025, since the beginning of 2025. She has had 10 STD tests. 10! Has anybody in the sector had that many STD tests in a year? Anybody? And we got kids. We out here with kids, with wives and husbands and all types of shit. Have any of you had to have STD tests? 10 of them in a year? I'll wait. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Like I said, don't play with me, ho.
This is me getting tested with blue, right? And why did I follow up with this test again? I had got this test again.
See that chlamydia in June?
Why?
See that HIV? She don't even understand why she had to get 2 HIV tests in 1 year, 2 syphilis tests in 1 year, less than 6 months apart. She had to get gonorrhea, chlamydia. She had to get another trichomonas test. She had to get another trichomonas test, Gardnerella, vaginitis, and yeast tests. 10 different tests in a year. But everybody else is pussy dirty? All right, then.
I
You don't even know why.
remember.
So,
Right?
if you can't remember why you had to take these tests, then do you remember why you can't even remember why you had to go and get that follow-up test? So do you remember who you was fucking? Do you remember that you were fucking? What were you doing, Carrie-Ann? What was going on, Carrie-Ann, that you can't even remember what you were doing that you had to go take a fucking STD test? This is sick and it's sad. But you wanted us to observe it. So we're going to go ahead and observe. But again, like I said, and this is why you took it down, is because, yes, nobody was lying on you.
Let's see if it's true I get tested every couple of months. Let's see if that's true.
Did we just show that you get tested every couple of months? You literally get STD tests every couple months. This shows right here. Trichomonas, February 12th, 2025 at 5:25 p.m. Syphilis, June 30th, 2025 at 10:51 a.m. HIV, June 30th at 10:51 a.m. Then you turned around and had a gonorrhea test in June and the whole full panel in June. Then you turned around and had another HIV test and another syphilis test in September. So yes, every couple months you have to get a STD test. That's what you've been showing us. So unless you're lying about your medical records, then yeah, you do. And nobody's lying on you. Let's keep going.
True. And this hadn't been here the last time I showed this to y'all, I don't think. But let's
Exactly, Carrie. That test for HIV and for syphilis was not there in August when you showed us your medical records. Now we have a new test because you're still being a hoe, apparently, and allegedly. But let's go ahead and keep going.
see if that's true.
It is true.
So all of these tests are in June.
No, ma'am. The HIV is in September. The syphilis, September. See how quick to lie to people? See how quick you willing to just jump up and tell lies? The chlamydia and the gonorrhea and the new syphilis and all the 4-5 tests you had in June, yes. But then you turned around and had 2 more tests in September, and you had 3 tests in February. Okay? So they were not all in June. You're just a diabolical liar.
For STDs.
You be lying on your own pussy.
Right. And then in September, I got tested
And then in February, you were tested.
for some reason.
You don't even know the reason. You don't even know the reason. This is sick. This is
Um,
sick. You did not have to share this with the sector. Again, you never had to share any of this with the sector. Even when you did it in August, nobody was looking for your pussy, sweetheart. Nobody cares except you.
all of these are blood tests.
Yeah. See all these blood tests that you got to get done? All this blood work you got to get done, right? November, September, a MG specimen, a mammo unilateral, another TSH for your thyroid, glucose testing for diabetes, right? All this stuff, but you talking about everybody else's health.
Blood test, blood test, blood
Blood
test,
test,
titty
blood
test.
test, titty test, blood test, ultrasound, blood test. But honey, what is this? That's a pregnancy test back on May 8th, 2024. Now, this is one of the things that I was saying that is hidden in this medical history, okay? Because Carrie keeps trying to, and we tried to also give her the benefit of the doubt that she gets these pregnancy tests because they want to make sure she's not pregnant while she's taking this medication, right? But I want to scroll back a little bit because we're at November of 2025. We go all the way down to September. And let's move up a little bit and move up a little bit more. And here is that qualitative HCG beta test, which is a pregnancy test, okay? There is not a single place in here where there's anything concerning her medication. Nothing concerning lithium is on here. It's just the pregnancy test. Now, there is a part of the medical records that I looked at, I observed, where it shows the pregnancy test and the medication test simultaneous. Okay? So at that time when she was taking the lithium during this particular period, they were giving her the pregnancy test. But on this particular time here, there's no indication that Carrie was getting any of those lithium panels that we looked up, any of those comprehensive panel screenings that we looked up. No, these are all other tests, nothing to do with her medication. But yet, suddenly in May of
Titty
2024,
test.
a bitch that don't fuck nobody needed a pregnancy test. I'll wait for you to prove that it had anything to do with your medication.
Titty test, blood test, titty test, titty test. This going back a whole year.
Mm-hmm.
So all
So in all the way from now till April of 2024, you have managed to have 10 STD tests and at least one pregnancy test. At least.
through this year, was I getting tested every couple of months?
Not in 2024, but you got a pregnancy test in 2024. Keep in mind, in 2024, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Here's that one comprehensive metabolic panel in November of 2024. Well, how come you had to get the pregnancy test in May? And you didn't have that comprehensive panel in May or anywhere near May. Why, Carrie? June, July, August, September, October, November. That was 6 months later. 6 months later, they did the comprehensive test on your lipids and on your lithium levels, right? But they did the pregnancy test 6 months prior to that. According to your medical records. Let's go.
A whole year done went by.
And you still was a nasty bitch that whole motherfucking year.
Right? A whole year.
Nasty hoe.
But T Pre, this alleged truth teller, told people I got to get tested every couple of months.
Are our lying eyes lying to us, y'all? Are our lying eyes lying? Or did this bitch have to get tested every couple months? Like, which one is it? Bitch, do you even see what you're showing? I don't even think you saw what you were showing us last night. You just wanted to show us. You just wanted to hop up and grandstand on the women of the sector. That's what you wanted to do, and this is what the fuck you get for trying to do that shit, stupid bitch. That's what the fuck you get. Now let's go.
Right? Let's see, when is the last time I got tested for STDs? Let's see. Titty test, mammogram.
Drug screen, January 24th, 2024. Why did you need a drug test? I mean, you claim it was for anti. I'm going to let y'all hear this bullshit. But why did you need a drug test? Hmm. Then you had to turn around and get another two pregnancy tests. One was February of 2024. One was April of 2024. But again, the metabolic panel was in January, okay, of 2024. So, are you getting these pregnancy tests because they want to make sure you're not pregnant from the lithium? Or are you taking these pregnancy tests because you fucking all the time? I mean, that's a lot of pregnancy tests for somebody who's not having sex, right? That just doesn't make sense to me. But okay, let's go.
I got a drug screen. This is when I was thinking about suing anti for claiming I do drugs.
Shout out to Anti. She was gonna sue you. Anti. She was gonna sue you for saying she does fucking drugs. Okay, when it shows she do drugs. Okay, okay. Like what the fuck? Go ahead though. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
All these blood.
All these blood tests for such a healthy woman who has such wonderful, perfect health. And everyone else is so sickly, and they are the ones that are projecting their sickly lives onto this healthy woman.
Blood test, blood test. We still in 2024. No more, no STD test.
Well, you ain't ran across no dirty dick in 2024. Thank God. Thank God. But, honey, you were fucking in 2024, okay? Because obviously you needed 3 different pregnancy tests all fucking year. Like, goddamn. You only pregnant for 9 months, okay? I mean, goddamn. Let's go.
I'm a celibate woman, right?
No, you're not.
Why would I be getting an STD test?
I don't know. But why are you getting STD tests every couple months according to your own medical records?
Titties.
And see, the reason why I put all of this in here, put your avatar in here, made sure they could hear your voice, is because what you weren't going to do is say, T. Pre made this up. T. Pre, she doctored this. T. Pre made this what she wanted it to say. No, your doctors are saying your pussy is nasty. That's what the VA is saying about your pussy. Not T. Pre. The VA is saying your pussy is trash. Okay? Let's keep going.
Blood test.
HIV test. Now, I want y'all to hear this bitch's fucking excuse for why she had to take this HIV test in March of 2023. Y'all ready for this?
HIV screening in March of 2023. Around the time I was cupcaking with Photon.
Wait the fuck a minute. So you about to, bitch, you about to blame Photon. Let's do this real quick, y'all, because we not about to play these games. First of all, we need to add a tally. We need to add a tally. So we had 11 tests. Okay, up to 2023, we've had to have 11 STD screenings. Okay, since 2023. Okay, mind you, none of them have anything to do with lithium. Okay, but let's go ahead and see. I want to see something real quick. Distance from Brooklyn, New York to Tucker, Georgia. Okay. Let's see how long the distance is between them. Okay. This. So you mean to tell me, bitch, that you had to get an STD test, an HIV test at that, for a nigga that is 860 miles away from you? You have never seen this nigga. You have only showed this nigga your titties and your pussy online for free while he turned over and laid up with his wife and kids? Huh? You took an HIV test, is what you're trying to convince the sector right now. You're trying to convince you got to tell me something I can believe, okay? Because you're saying that you had to take an HIV test for a nigga you never met online? A nigga that so you can I didn't know you could catch HIV through the phone. I didn't know that's a thing. Okay, I didn't know I could be on video with a nigga showing a nigga my titties and pussy for free, and I could catch HIV that way. I didn't know that that's a thing. I didn't know. I didn't know. Did let me know if y'all knew. Let me know if y'all knew that that's a fucking thing. That you can get a fucking STD by having phone sex with a nigga online. Like I didn't know that that was a thing. But okay, Carrie. Okay, Carrie, we're gonna let you because see, that's your problem, right? That's what people like Hater Razi is learning now. That you cannot take responsibility for anything that you do, right? See, this is your problem even right now. You're trying to blame me for why your STD test count is at 11 up until this point from 2023. You have had 11 STD tests since then, right? And you're trying to blame me for that when really this is all you, honey. You showed us this shit. We did not need to know any of this. But this is stuff you want us to know. So let's go ahead and look into it. That HIV test, Photon, shout out to you. She got the HIV test for you, even though your dick ain't never been nowhere near this bitch.
Right? So, in the past 2 years, that's 3 tests.
What? Bitch, in the past 3 years, that 2 years, yeah, you're right. In the past almost 3 years, right? You have had 11 H 11 HIV, trichomonas, chlamydia, gonorrhea, Gardasilin, whatever, vaginalis, yeast infection, syphilis. You have had 11 of these tests in the past 2.5 years, almost 3 years. Okay, and you've had what 3 or 4 pregnancy tests in that past time, and you ain't never had a baby. Never had a child a day in your life. But this is where you at. 11 motherfucking tests, bitch. This is a damn shame. This is a goddamn shame. This is sad. This is sad. Yeah, let's keep going. Let's see. You came in the sector in 2020, okay? No, 2021. 2021. Now look at God. Won't he do it? Look at the Lord, okay? Won't he do it? See, God told you to leave me the fuck alone, honey, okay? But I don't know. I think since you don't be listening to God, okay, this is why you keep getting fucked up by a bitch. Now let's go ahead and see. All right? Let's listen to you, and then we're gonna do a little research on these tests that you had to take in 2021, bitch. Okay? Let's talk about it. This is why I got the tally, y'all. That's why I got the tally up to Carrie's STD test since 2021. Okay? But we're going to go ahead and look at this. Share this tab. I want y'all to listen to what this bitch had to say about these tests, child. Because look at God. Won't he do it?
blood test. Now this right here, I had an irregular pap smear. That's
What do you mean you had an irregular pap smear? Let's look that up, y'all. Let's look that up. Why would a person have an abnormal pap smear? And let's share this screen. An abnormal pap smear indicates cell changes on the cervix, most commonly caused by HPV infection. Other causes include inflammation, bacterial or yeast infections, or hormonal changes, e.g., menopause. Rarely it indicates precancerous cells or cancer. So we know that it wasn't cancer. We know that it wasn't menopause, okay? So that only leaves HPV infection, inflammation, bacterial or yeast infections, or hormonal changes, right? Which would be like, for menopause, okay? So we know it ain't that. So it's got to be one or the other, right? Bacterial or yeast, right? Or HPV infection. But honey, you actually gave us the answer of what it was. Okay? Because all we got to do is look down one right after the trichomonas test. Now, that sounds very fucking familiar, right? Trichomonas, because you had to have two of those back in 2025. So we need to add another trichomonas, right? We need to add another Gardnerella and another yeast, right? Let me make sure I had that right. 12, 13, 14. We at 14 tests, y'all. Okay? Now, let's look up cytology first before we get into the trichomonas testing. Cytology test, okay? What is a cytology test? A cytology test analyzes cells from body fluids, sputum, or tissue scrapings under a microscope to detect cancer, precancerous changes, or infections. Common examples include pap smears, urine cytology, and fine needle aspiration. It differs from a biopsy by examining small cell clusters rather than whole tissue pieces. Purposes and types: screening and diagnosis, primarily used to identify cancer, infection, and inflammatory conditions, e.g., pap smear for cervical cancer, urine test for bladder cancer. Okay? Now, let's go back to this page because that test, the cytology test, was done
why it's a
December. Oh,
cytology.
let me stop that. That was done December 17th of 2021. Okay? Now, the other test, the trichomonas test, Gardnerella vaginalis, I can't even say these words, fungus and yeast, was done December 13th, 2021, right? At 3:26 p.m., ordered by Trevor Parks, okay? Now, child, we about to get into some shit, all right? Because this right here, Carrie, this HPV mRNA E6E7 reflex gen 1618, I did some research on that. Okay? I did some research on that one, child. This ain't a this girl. I mean, listen. I'm getting ready to show you how nasty your pussy is, okay? Your pussy so fucking nasty, you didn't even know it was this nasty. It's clear you didn't because you would never have shown us this shit if you knew, okay? If you actually knew how nasty your coochie was and how we would be aware of how nasty it is after you showed us this, I don't think you would have been stupid enough to show us this. Now, I'm going to look at exactly what this is. It's E6. Y'all make sure y'all sitting down. Make sure y'all not eating no dinner or nothing right now because this hoe is trifling. And I hope none of you niggas ever went down to fuck that bitch because honey, honey, you need to get yourself to the doctor ASAP. Okay? Now, let me show y'all what this test is. We're going to do a HPV mRNA E6 dash or slash E7 reflux HPV 161845. Okay? Let's share my tab. The HPV mRNA E6E7 test with reflex to genotype 161845 is a molecular screening tool that detects active high risk HPV infections by identifying viral messenger RNA, mRNA. This test indicates whether HPV is actively causing cellular changes rather than just being present. And specifically identifies high risk types 16, 18, and 45, which are associated with increased risk for developing surgical cancer. I had major questions after this, okay? Major questions after this because I was like, so does that mean that she already had HPV and they had to test what type of HPV she had? What exactly does this mean, right? And so what I did when I asked that is I said, do you have to have active HPV in order to get an HPV mRNA E6E7 test? Y'all ready for the answer? Are you ready for the answer, Carrie? While you talking about breaking the culture pussy, while you're talking about T-Pre pussy, while you talking about Divine 7 pussy, while you talking about Raw Beast pussy, while you talking about how clean your pussy is, while you trying to cozy up to these niggas in the sector, right? While you trying to show your nasty coochie and ass to these niggas in the sector, right? This is the answer to what your medical records say. Your medical records said you had to get an HPV mRNA E6-E7 reflex gen 16, 18, 45 test. Your medical records say that. What does that mean, Carrie? That means yes, an HPV mRNA E6-E7 test requires an active high-risk HPV infection to produce a positive result with your nasty motherfucking ass, bitch. So you mean to tell me you have had HPV so motherfucking long? You have had HPV, which is human papillomavirus, for so motherfucking long, Carrie, that your doctor had to test what type it was and how aggressive it was and whether or not it was causing you cancer. That's how long your nasty pussy was sitting around with human papillomavirus. But you sitting up here talking up under other motherfuckers' clothes? You sitting up here, you want to know what's up with other people, pussy? You want to know what's up with other people who are camming, right? You want to know what's up with other mothers, single mothers, right? But this whole time, it's your pussy that keeps getting tested. So we got to add that to the tally, sweetheart. So since 2021, since you've been in the sector, Carrie, you have managed, according to your own medical records, you have managed to have 15 different STD screenings. 15. So a bitch like you can't tell me a motherfucking thing. Okay? See, that's what we're really going to talk about. A bitch like you can't tell me a motherfucking thing when it comes to the triflingness that you show out of your pussy and out of your panties. Okay? See, I told your bitch ass to leave me the fuck alone. I'm not bothering you. I'm not talking to you. I'm not arguing with you. I'm not talking shit about you. I'm not doing anything. But I will tell you the truth and shame the devil. Okay? I will show you a mirror to your own motherfucking face, bitch. I ain't got no problem with that. Okay? But we're going to put the rest today to the sector. Fuck you and fuck all the voices in your head, right? We're going to put today to rest in the sector whether or not I am lying on you, whether or not I am the one that made up these stories about you and your dirty fucking pussy and the 15 times that you had to be tested for STDs in a 4-year period. 15 times. But yet, you're celibate. But you had to have 15 STD screenings. And in one of those screenings, they screened you because you already have an active human papillomavirus disease. Already. You trifling ass bitch. So before you get out here talking about anybody else's pussy, anybody else's ass, their sexual health, their health overall, or any of that shit, you need to go take a look in the fucking mirror, right? You need to go look in your own backyard and clean that shit the fuck up before you come for any motherfucking body else out. And that's a motherfucking fact. Okay? While you out here looking like Sanford and Son, you know? While you out here looking like um Frederick Douglass's granddaughter, you know what I'm saying? While you out here looking all crazy, looking all, unkept and shit, okay? You need to go check your own pussy and your own motherfucking backyard. Bottom motherfucking line. Okay? And stop coming for the women in the sector. Because honestly, Carrie, we don't give a fuck. Okay? We don't care. But since you wanted us to know, and since you wanted us to analyze it, and you wanted us to see it, we did. Congratulations. Your pussy is still nasty. Anyway, I gotta go. I definitely appreciate y'all for being in the building. Let me go ahead and get over here and get to y'all comments, and then I'm gonna get the fuck out of here, child. Okay, because bitch, why, right? I don't even understand why she did this to herself. I don't get it. Why you did this to yourself. But you did it to yourself, sweetheart. You did it to yourself, and you should have left me the fuck alone. I told you, leave me alone. But you want to keep going. So, okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'm cool with that. God damn, there's a lot of comments out here, child. Okay, let me get over here and get to y'all. Oh, I'm so sorry, y'all. I could have been reading these tests the whole. I could have been these tests. I could have been reading these comments this whole time, but child, I was over here trying to get into this commentary, cause baby. Okay, I see all the twos. I see all the twos. Oh shit. Okay. Oh, we got a lot of commentary. We got a lot of commentary. Okay, let's see. Hold on. Let me go back. Let me go back. Let me go back. God damn. Y'all went in the comment section. Y'all went in the comment section. Shout out to y'all. Hey, Shakim. All right, let me. I think I'm up here. I think I'm here. Oh no, he's still up here. Damn, y'all. Okay, we finally at the top. Okay, so you said Joe is hating on the just for me. Just for me, child. Shit. Okay. As you said, if you catch me showing my medical records, take child, please come and take all my devices. If y'all ever see me ever doing some shit like this, okay? But I mean, she wanted us to see him, so we're gonna look at him. You said, "LOL, that Jerry curl gave her life, child." Yes, it did. Because I don't know what's going on right now. Okay, I don't know what happened with this picture. Okay, you said D7. You said, "Hey, Steph, appreciate you being in the building." All right, you said exactly and making up her own scenarios. Okay, okay, sis. And you said, "Hey, Queen Lorna." Okay, everybody's speaking. You said, "I listened to that podcast that C did this morning before she took it down." Child, I can't believe she embarrassed herself like this again. Like, this is so ridiculous to just be doing this. It is so ridiculous. You said she's seen it. Okay. You said, "Why she tried to give away her severance pay?" Child, I don't know. What's up, Shakim? Definitely appreciate you being in the building. You said, "Counting down, child." Mm-mm-mm. 15 motherfucking tests, y'all. You said, "Wow, suspiciously after having a summer of blue." Okay, all of a sudden, you need all these motherfucking STD tests. It don't make no motherfucking sense, child. You said, "Molested." Where did that come from? Yo, that's what I'm saying. I have never ever said anything like that about Carrie. But I wonder if it's actually true about her now since she's mentioning it, right? Because I never said anything like that. I don't get I got $10,000 for you, bitch. If you can prove I ever said that. Prove I ever said that shit. Just like you gotta prove I'm a drug addict, I'm an alcohol, all this. Prove all of that shit. Okay? Prove I said that too. Okay? We waiting, child. But now I'm starting to think that that's actually true about her. He said, "Bernice, it's a little off because I remember she said she broke up with Blue somewhere around this time." Okay. You said it's a puzzle. Okay. You said that's what she says, YM. Child. And see, keep in mind, YM, I know a little bit more, right? As a matter of fact, do I want to tell y'all that story? I'm going to hold that. I'm going to just tell you this. She lying. She broke up with him back in, I want to say, January of 25. It might have been even in 24. I think it was December of 24. That's when they broke up. They didn't see each other that long. They were only seeing each other for a very short period of time. It might have been January. It might have been January of 25. But it was a very very short period of time, and it was some particular things that she claimed he did for why they're not fucking with each other. Okay, so and I'm not 100% sure about that either. I think she was definitely exaggerating some of those things, but he ain't fucking with that girl. He hasn't fucked with that girl in a long time. Okay, and he's much younger than her too. So no, Carrie's lying to the sector if she told y'all that around that time in September is when she stopped seeing him, because that's not the case. You said it's a puzzle. You said that's what she says. Okay. You said the beautiful Bernice. You said, why would she get screened for him then break up? Exactly, right? It makes no sense, right? That's because that's not true. You said she ended things in August, so I could see her getting tested in September. Yeah, but she didn't end things in August. That's the thing. She ended things. I want to say it was either December or January of 24, 25. So it was like right in the change of the year. That's when she ended stuff with him. She was seeing him for a couple of months prior to that, and then they ended things around that time. So no, she it wasn't August at all. You said, "Prizzle, I'm late." What's up, P? Appreciate you being in the building. You said, "Sure." You said the lithium can affect the thyroid. Yes, that is true. That is true, and that is why they keep testing her for thyroid issues, for diabetes issues, for other things. She actually has. She told me she has diabetes, so it was diabetes, the thyroid issues and stuff like that, because these medications are actually affecting that. But whilst the reason why I brought those things up is because she keeps saying that all of us are so unhealthy, right? I'm so unhealthy. I'm about to die any moment based off of my health, according to her, right? And then but it's really actually her issues, right? She is the one projecting her life onto me, not the other way around. So that's the reason I brought that up. But shout out to you. You said, "Really, YM?" You said, Joe, yep, you said the levels can get too high. Yes, and also with sugar, and there's some other stuff too. That's the reason why they're giving her all these tests all the time. You said it's how I remember, but I could be wrong. But she got tested for something, child. You said, Bernice, oh, it ended in August. Yeah, I can see it now. Yeah, and it didn't, unfortunately, y'all. It just didn't end in August. You said I had mine tested and it was normal, but I am not on lithium. Okay, right. You said, damn. You said, I got the pause, okay? Crazy, okay? You said, Joe, you about to change the meaning of pause, okay? You said, this combination suggests a thorough wellness evaluation or workup for symptoms like chronic fatigue, low energy, mood changes, weight issues, or preventative health maintenance. Okay. You said, I'm part of the Do Not Care Club. Okay, child? You said, don't you remember you told me you love me, baby? You said interesting. You said what about the Panamanian handyman? Oh, mmm. P. It's funny because now that you brought that back to my attention, now I can put Blue back into perspective because she was dating Blue around that time. Okay, so that was in 2024. Okay, her and Blue broke up in the beginning. It was like either the end of 2024 or the beginning of 2025. So all these tests she had in 2025, none of those were because of Blue. Okay, and then obviously she'd be lying anyway because she blamed her getting an STD test on Photon. Okay, somebody she's never even met in person. Okay, but yeah, according to her, she could get HIV through the phone. Okay, that's what the fuck she doing. But yeah, we forgot about the Panamanian handyman, and but around that time is when she was dating Blue. You said I heard the same women. You said, I heard that some women with the pause be smelling hands. Thank y'all for hitting the like button. I definitely appreciate that. Child. You said 3 months prior, same test, plus more and some more, child. Okay? But she's sitting here saying, T Pre is lying about me having to get all these tests every couple months. But let me show y'all that I gotta get these tests every couple months. You stupid ass bitch. You a dumb ass bitch, man. You can at least have your lies straight before you tell them, okay? You said, I don't know what that is, child. You said, because every time she goes to get tested, they ask when last time she was sexually active. HIV positive tests take up to 6 months after contact to come up positive, according to the CIDC. Okay. You said, but she had three of them. But keep in mind, she's supposed to be celibate though, okay? Like that's what I'm saying. That's the part that's got me, right? It's like I'm a celibate woman, but I need to get all these uh HIV and chlamydia tests and gonorrhea tests all the time. Like, girl, which one is it? Which one is it, child? You said, why are you getting tested for those kinds of things if you don't have symptoms? It just seems odd to me. It is extremely odd to me that she's getting tested for chlamydia and gonorrhea and vaginalis and all these other things if there's no symptoms there. You know what I mean? Like, for what? If you're, the HIV thing, and I even gave her that in the past video I did. I'll give you the HIV because you can get HIV from more than one thing, right? But chlamydia and gonorrhea and all this, you only get that one way. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just that. So seems very odd to me too. You said the HIV screenings were 3 months apart, and the syphilis screenings were 3 months apart, right? Mm. You said, wait, what? You said I sleep but not around. Okay. Child, raw. You told us, girl. You said the beautiful Burmese same sexually transmitted diseases don't have symptoms at first. Okay, but these symptoms they do because I actually looked up this while we were on here, Lorna. It showed that if you have trichomonas, if you're getting a trichomonas test, it's because you have symptoms. It's not a routine test that you just go get, when you're getting STD screening. That's not. I just showed y'all. That is not a routine test. So no, she had to have had symptoms in order for her to get some of these testings. You said she got something going on. Raw, it gets worse. Child, you said, wouldn't all of that be a good reason to watch every day? That's what I'm trying to say. To wash your ass every motherfucking day, right? So you don't get these motherfucking diseases. You said she needed them results quick and fast. She needed a rapid test, okay? We need to get this shit in less than 30 minutes, child, because I don't know what's going on, okay? But yet, she don't even play with toys, Joe. She ain't fucking aliens, cats, dogs, men, women, nothing. Okay, no, nothing, nothing going in her pussy. Okay, but she got to get a bunch of fucking testing done. This is just some nasty shit. You said I thought celibacy meant never mind. Okay, you said Joe. Oh well, that could explain it. Okay, repeat offender, child. Repeat. Okay, don't make no motherfucking sense. You said mycoplasma genitalium is a sexually transmitted STI that can infect your cervix, urethra, or rectum. Mm. So, girl, taking it in the ass, the pussy, all girl, you just nasty. You just nasty. You said key risk factors for mycoplasma genitalium are unprotected vaginal or anal sex, having multiple or anonymous sexual partners, younger, age especially under 25, inconsistent condom use, and having other STIs like chlamydia or bacterial vaginosis (BV) with MGen spreading across close sexual contact, bitch. You nasty asshole. Out here trying to act like your pussy so clean and so sweet, and this is what the fuck going on with you? You nasty bitch. You said, I think Carrie want men to think her kitty was squeaky clean. She almost had them convinced. Right. But when women we know but with women we know that doctors only test when you are sexually active and complaining. Nobody is running around men going and getting chlamydia tests and getting a gonorrhea test and getting trichomonas tests just because. No one's doing that. No one. No doctor is even offering that. Okay? She's getting these tests because she has symptoms. Period. Okay? Just letting you know. You said, was she sleeping with her students? Child! Child! Allegedly, right? I'm just saying. You said, how she fucking and still mad, okay? What's up, White T? I ain't seen you in a long ass fucking time. Yes, how she fucking is still all this angry and shit? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck, child? Girl. Hey, Vita, I appreciate you being in the building. You said, oh, she got a hot pocket. She got one of them spicy hot pockets, okay? A spicy one. You said those are teenage STDs, okay? Just nasty. How you getting HPV at your age of 47, bitch? Nasty hoe? The fuck? You said syphilis symptoms, causes, and treatments. Bacterial infection primarily transmitted via sexual contact. Symptoms include painless sore, rash, swollen lymph nodes, sores or in or around the mouth. Child, you nasty ass bitch. Genitalia, fever, and or muscle and joint pain. Treatment includes antibiotics, bitch. You said any psychiatrist that has a patient that they believe is not compliant with their medication has a legal responsibility to flag their patients for pregnancy and STD tests, which speaks a lot about her, right? That just goes to show that they don't trust her. You know what I'm saying? They don't think she's compliant with her medication. So that is the reason why they're testing her for all this shit. Shout out to you for pointing that out. You said, hey, Davita, you said, I'm going to the doctor tomorrow, child. This make you need the girl. Okay, you're like, ooh, this is just nasty, child. Just nasty. I appreciate you, Vita, for being in the building. You said, I'm going to ask my doctor about this medical record, okay? Child, listen. You said, okay, Lorna, that sounds important, though. You said, CBC can support clinical evaluation, particularly in cases of congenital syphilis. You said, not fungus and yeast, child. Golly, child. You said, why is she getting all these STD tests? 15 of them in 4 years. Child, you said this is not normal. Exactly. I don't know why she thinks we are going to believe that this is normal. You said, what is Gardnerella? Let's look it up because I don't know. Child, I ain't never had it. What is Gardnerella vaginalis? Gardnerella vaginalis. All right, so let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. Gardnerella vaginalis is a gram variable anaerobic bacterium that is a normal, harmless component of the vaginal flora. When its population overgrows due to pH imbalance, it causes bacterial vaginosis characterized by thin gray white discharge, a fishy odor, and sometimes itching. It is not it is not a sexually transmitted infection, though sexual activity can trigger its growth. Okay, so let's find out how you get it. How do you get Gardnerella vaginalis? Gardnerella vaginalis is a bacterium commonly present in vaginal microbiome that causes bacterial BV when it overgrows due to an imbalance in vaginal flora, often triggered by elevated pH. While not strictly a sexually transmitted infection, it is associated with sexual activity, douching, and less commonly smoking or hormonal changes. Okay, so she can get it from STDs. She can get it from sexual activity, from douching, which is nasty, less commonly from smoking or hormonal changes. So that's what the deal on Gardnerella vaginalis. It says CDC needs to be contacted. Child, somebody need to contact the CDC on this bitch. You said either she's getting randoms hit, or it's what Lorna said. Okay, let me put up my stuff again. Let me put up one of my banners. Hold on, y'all. All right. Okay. Oh, okay. There we go. All right. So let me go back to the comments. Okay. You said either she's hit it letting randoms hit, or it's what Lorna said, child. Okay, she just a nasty hoe, white tea. You said the fuck is fungus. Look that up. We ain't looking up fungus. You said white tea. Yes, it's deadly important. Psychiatric medications can severely harm a human embryo, and that is the truth. That was one thing we were talking about before, is how why she has to take the pregnancy test is so that the doctors can make sure that she's not pregnant. But, we also looked up to see whether or not a doctor can bypass those tests, and they can as long as they feel like the patient is telling the truth, okay? But clearly, she lives a very risky lifestyle like she claims we all do, okay? But it's really her. You said, and the partridge in a pear tree, child. You said, again, and all the reasons to wash your pussy every day. You said, last year, all I got was cholesterol, thyroid, and an A1C test. I got a mammogram last year. Um, that's pretty much it. I didn't really have to get much routine testing done. I did a regular physical. You said, what is fungus, child? Look that shit up. You said that makes sense to me, Lorna. You said women usually get happy when they're active, at least at first. Okay, child. Ain't nobody running around all crazy and deranged like she was. You said, I wonder if she do color guard tests, child. You said a vaginal fungus or vaginal candidiasis yeast infection is caused by an overgrowth of candida fungus, leading to itching, burning, soreness, pain during urination or sex, and thick white discharge. You said PLOL, it's a test for bacterial overgrowth. Gee whiz, child. You said hell to the no. You said YM, that is bacterial overgrowth. Never mind, my flesh is crawling. I told y'all, don't be eating while we talk about this. Gardnerella vaginalis is caused by sexual intercourse with multiple sexual partners or a new sex partner. Hormonal fluctuations, hormonal fluctuations, your period, smoking cigarettes, chronic stress, and douching. Nasty. Just nasty. Just nasty. You said, why am I think of the game of The Last of Us when I hear the word fungus? That nasty ass pussy. You said given to everyone in the world, child. High out her motherfucking mind, child. My, in my voice. And she was manic, okay? She was manic. You said, why would you get tested every couple of months if you're celibate? And was I lying about Carrie getting tested every couple of months? Because that's what her fucking medical records show. I'm just saying. You said, I get a flu shot every year. Does that count? You say you're not even required to see your PCP, but every 3 months. Exactly. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? You said manic hypersexuality is a common intense increase in sexual drive and activity during manic or hypomanic episodes in bipolar disorder, characterized by impulsivity, poor judgment, and disregard for consequences, leading to risky sexual behaviors, potential infidelity, STIs, and relationship problems, bitch. Shout out to the nigga from the roots. We're gonna leave that story alone though. You said that is just page one, child. Okay. You said she needs some in-house dingaling, but she too crazy. Ain't nobody about to live with that bitch. You said February, June, July, September, damn near every fucking season. Okay. The fuck. You said she should have kept this in the vault like we knew she don't bathe regularly, but geez, right? Bitch, you should have kept this to yourself. Why are you showing this to the sector? I don't know why she keep trying to grandstand and trying to compete where she don't fucking compare. Like, what the fuck are you doing, bitch? What's wrong with you? You said, is she going to go to page? Child. Child. She went to page two. You said, Carrie only take baths when she leave the house and for good occasions, like when a man is coming over, right? You said there are only two people in the sector who overshared. Child. A magnesium test measures the level of magnesium in the blood to diagnose imbalances, often caused by kidney issues, malnutrition, alcoholism. Ain't that a bitch? Look at this shit. For alcoholism too? While you calling niggas alcoholics and drug addicts and shit. Bitch. And you said Carrie is trying to Bay. Escape Bay, the information is out. Child, the information is out, child. And hey, Happy Butterfly, appreciate you being in the building. You said her eggs are cracked and scrambled. Ain't nothing coming out of her but dust bunnies, okay? You said I had to put my robe on. It's chilly, child. Cold blooded in here. You said hello, T Pre in chat. I appreciate you being in the building. Yep, child. Just saying. Everybody saying hi. You said original. How you doing? You said salute to her for not keeping my 600. Slander, slander. You said several months after. I'm just saying, y'all. Y'all saw what I saw? Shit. Hit the like, and this fucking shit ain't coming down, okay? Y'all hit that like button. You said, oh my God, child. Oh my God. May to February is 9 fucking months. Exactly. SMH. You said pregnancy in February and April. You said, dang, this is a good analysis. Sad case, but good analysis. I just had to do it. Because I'm like, bitch, I know you ain't about to play in my motherfucking face with this motherfucking shit telling niggas that I'm lying on you. No, ma'am, either the VA is lying on you or you just a nasty bitch. Okay, period. You said, did they test for THC? When she had that drug test? I don't know. You said, if that's not, you said, if that hot pocket ain't right, the rest of the body is off, child. Okay? If that hot pocket ain't right, the rest of your body is completely off. Damn, you said 256 is a lot of office visits. Okay? 256 fucking pages is a lot of office visits. There was 256 entries on that shit, y'all. 256. HIV. You said, so was she virtually in? She was virtually infected by photon, child. Virtually. Photon is out here slinging dick virtually, okay? This is what's going on, and you got to get tested for HIV after you have phone sex with him, okay? Child, I don't know. You said +3 for the pregnancies, okay? Child. You said surprise. I heard this and said, what the fuck? You said she was gonna give it to him raw. Child. This is fucking nasty and wild, honey. Okay? You said she got tested for photon and she was waiting for him to get tested. P, it was on your show, I think. Girl, stop the cap. You got that fucking test because you out here fucking. That's why. You said I know her TRICARE insurance is tied. Ain't sick of her motherfucking ass. You nasty bitch. They try to find a way to get her ass locked the fuck up, okay? Like, wait, we ain't get her in a hospital or something. She can't keep being out here doing this shit, okay? Child, she is the poster child for insurance companies, okay? Like, listen, bitch, okay? I don't know what you're doing, but you need to have several fucking seats. You need to go to sleep at night, okay? That's what the fuck you need to do. You said, Raw, please stop. You said, preparing to sleep with a stranger unprotected. Okay? Don't make no motherfucking sense. You out here preparing to have sex with a man online. Uh-huh. Weird ass bitch. Nasty motherfucking work. You said, but YM, they weren't talking like that in 2023. How about that? Let's go. You said trial version cam girl. Not the trial cam girl. No. Lies on top of lies, man. It don't make no sense. You said, White Tea, I was just getting ready to say that. You said, right after her birthday. Child. Real nasty work over that phone, girl. Nasty work. You said Raw Ann. Okay, that we gotta call her Raw Ann from now on. She's no longer Carrie. That's Raw Ann out this bitch. Okay. You said she was given to everybody, honey. You get some pussy, you get some pussy, you get HPV, you get HPV. Like, what the fuck? You nasty ass bitch. Maybe if you don't wash every day, right? Phone sex equals STD transmission. Phone sex equals STDs, child. Listen. You said, girl, how many partners you had? Body count extra high, child. Oh, the fuck, girl? That is 14 tests related to intimate activity. 15, child. We got to 15. You said right, Pre, because she be lying about when she got here too. Exactly, right? You said, damn, it's only 12 months in a year, right? How much you got? 50, bitch. You is so nasty. You said, do we need to teach sex education? Yes. Yes. She need a sex education class. The teacher needs a sex education class, y'all. The fuck? This bitch is nasty as fuck, y'all. You said, girl, Carrie, why? Why, Carrie? And then took the shit down. I guess she thought I didn't have a copy of it. I don't know, girl. You dumb bitch. Of course I got a copy of it. You said YouTube unfolded. Those old fashioned phones have a long card. Just saying, child. You said this is why I need women around. I look at that and say, looks good to me. Thank God you got women around you, okay, P? Because baby, honey, that test, especially that HPV test that I showed y'all, that shit is so diabolical, man. They were testing her because she already had a active HPV, and they wanted to see what type of HPV she had, so they can decide whether or not this HPV is causing cancer. Is going to cause her cancer. That's how long this bitch had that shit lying in her pussy. You said, I mean, she is old enough for menopause, though. Yeah, yeah. You said raw true, but she said something about how it cleared up. Mm. You said raw. It's the pause, LOL. It's the pause, child. G motherfucking whiz, child. You said Carrie can't handle the pause, child. You said I'm too old for this. Okay. P, you and me both. What's up, Make a Change? Appreciate you. You said not that HPV test though. Girl, I'm trying to tell you. You said I don't think it was the pause. I think it's something else, girl. No more fungus. Okay. You said now what the fuck is that? Okay. Uh-oh. What is that saying? You said what is that saying? She's the Hulk? Child. You said she should have soaked her feet in peppermint like Photon told her. Okay. You said, child, listen, damn, okay? Mm-mm-mm. You said, why is she getting all these damn tests? You said, HPV Ann. That's her new name, HPV Ann. You said, wait, is that cancer? It could have turned into it. You said she did say she had coochie crumbs, child. Everybody want to smell her crumbs, right? You said y'all got to slow down. This is too motherfucking much, child. You better tell that bitch to slow down. You said she said Star wanted her coochie crumbs. Child. All this nasty ass box talk, okay? You said she sounds like a football player. Okay. White tea, no. Damn, child. You said again. This is the woman that does not wash every day. Exactly. You said I just looked up HPV up. It's shit like that out. It's shit like that out here, child. Yeah, and it's bitches like that walking around with it, claiming to niggas who don't know, right? Unsuspecting niggas that she's celibate. That's what she's claiming. All while she walking around with HPV. Nasty bitch. Mm. You said she done. She's done. Throw the whole coochie away, child. You said keep your medical records private, kids, okay? Hello. You said to the men out there that danced in it, I hope you get your updated screening. For any men who are out here that went to go visit her, that went to go get up in that pussy, you need to go get tested. Bottom line, before you give something to your partner, before you give something to somebody else. I don't know if anybody has slept with her or if she's trying to cupcake with anybody behind the scenes and get you close enough where you'll want to cupcake with her, but this is what you're dealing with if you do. Okay? Shout out to her for showing you. You said YouTube unhinged. I didn't know all this shit was out here. I think I'm done fucking. Never mind. Okay? Sweet Jesus, child. Wow, right? You said stop trolling her, TC. You doing more harm than good. Shout out to TC. That's my baby. You said, oh no. You said she doesn't take showers only on Sundays. Baths, that is. Okay. You said good video, Pre. Thank you. I appreciate that. This was very interesting. Very, very interesting, child. You said Carrie might as well do a OnlyFans. Okay, she might as well. She out here giving up the pussy for free, child. You might as well make you a couple dollars while you doing that. You said the just for me joke is not mine. I stole it. Okay. What's up, Ghost? Appreciate you being in the building. You said SMDH, child. Too big. Too big. That's your girl. You better tell that girl she need to go to the doctor. You said they test for that when you have gray, watery discharge. Okay. Ugh, nasty. What's up, Stop Down? You said I was sitting here by Big Shot Kim Ra. I'm falling back into the clouds. Do tell. I appreciate you being here, Stop Down. We know who you are around here. You said, yup, child. You said, damn, does she do porn? You gotta ask her. Cause I don't know. She ain't never told me that. But it looked like it. It looked like it. While she talking about cam girls. I mean, are you fucking on cam, bitch? Cause this is just nasty. This is nasty, okay? SMHP. You said Bernice, she tests like she in porn, no cap, right? Child, not washing regularly. Maybe she driving in a circle picking up the homeless. Okay, maybe. You said Lord baby, woo child. Projection projection junction. What's your function? Okay. You said, for the record, I'm speculating for a Kiki, not making conclusions. I'm just SMH at how she puts her business out there. But hey, it's YouTube, child. We know that. We appreciate you, YM. You said ew, ew, child. Hey, stop down. Okay, y'all, we out of here. We gonna get out of here. Let everybody go ahead and rest up. Go ahead and cleanse your palates. Cleanse your spirit. Okay. Go ahead and get up with your partner. You know what I mean. Make sure everything good. Okay. Go ahead and check your coochies, check your dicks, okay? Make sure everything is straight. But child, stay 1,000 miles away from that bitch pussy, okay? Because this bitch is nasty. And not only is she nasty, but she'll lie about being so nasty at that, okay? So I appreciate all of y'all for being in the building. Make sure y'all do hit the like button on the way out. And guys, we out of here. I will talk to y'all soon. And peace, guys. Thank y'all again for watching.